how likely is it that we will see regime change, that it will be successful?
Well, as I said, it's all a matter of how you build up the momentum. A week before these attacks started, last Monday, the main Iranian opposition movement, the Mujahideen Khalq, or the MEK, which is the same movement that exposed all the major nuclear sites of Iran, the same movement that has been the main target of the killings inside Iran and the target of terrorism by the regime, they launched a major strike on the headquarters of the Supreme Leader Khamenei, inflicting heavy casualty on the IRGC. The MEK announced that some 100 members were killed or arrested, but another 150 managed to leave the scene safely, showing how the resistance against the regime, the organized resistance, is expanding and how vulnerable the regime is getting. Also, this movement is very well structured. It's headed by a woman, Mrs. Mariam Rajavi. She announced earlier this week the provisional government to transfer sovereignty from the repressive rulers of Iran to the elected representatives of the people of Iran, based on her 10-point platform for the future of Iran that calls for ballot box to be as the sole criteria for legitimacy, separation of religion and state, equal rights for men and women, freedom of religion, freedom of political parties, free market economy, recognizing the rights of the nationalities and minorities in Iran, and a non-nuclear republic form of a government. She called on the regular armed forces to side with the people, but she also told the IRGC, which is the repressive force, to lay down their arms and surrender to the people of Iran. So the momentum is building up over the past few years, but particularly in the past few weeks. And that's where things are culminating, eventually, hopefully, will lead to the overthrow of the Iranian regime. You need to fight the IRGC. There's no other way, by the people on the ground.
While that momentum has been building, Iran has selected a new supreme leader. The second son and chosen heir of the Ayatollah Khamenei reports that this was done after pressure from the Revolutionary Guards. What more can you tell us about this?
Well, honestly speaking, there is really no replacement for Supreme Leader Khamenei. Out of the 47 years of the rule of clerics in Iran, 37 years of that, Khamenei was the supreme leader. And I think his death is basically the end of the theocracy, is end of this regime. Now, they may last, a little longer, but no one can replace Khamenei. Plus, even if Khamenei was alive, the circumstances have significantly changed. So the whole issue of succession is really increasingly become moot. The real issue regarding Iran is how long more can the regime hold on to power, facing the public outrage. It's only the Revolutionary Guards who are actually keeping the regime in power. But they're widely hated by the people. People see them as the biggest thieves, as the repressors, and they're distancing themselves, preparing themselves to fight the Revolutionary Guards until you bring down the mullahs. The same way that the people fought the Shah in 1979 because he was so repressive. He had the secret police Savak that put intellectuals in jail and built a notorious Evin prison. He dissolved all political parties and had a only single rule. And he was so arrogant and corrupt, and people just revolted and overthrew that. And now is the time for the clerics. This is a time not to go backwards, but to go forward, to see freedom, democracy, political pluralism in Iran. And just imagine, Gabriella, if when Iran is free, what an impact it will have, not just for the people of Iran, but for the whole region around the world.
That is absolutely what we all want to see. We're hearing a lot of noise from some Democrats, some in the media, really against this operation, even though there's already been so much success. I mean, one Democrat said that this operation is bound to fail. What do you make of that? I mean, do you expect that this will be a completely successful operation? And what are your thoughts around how long this is going to take?
Well, this is not a partisan issue, a fight between Republicans or Democrats or in some other countries there are debates going on. This is a genuine desire by the people of Iran, dating back to 4 or 5 decades. A lot of people have lost their lives paying the price to bring about change. Of course, change is not going to come very easily. We have paid a very high price. I have before me a book that is so thick. Let me just show you. I don't know how you can see how thick it is. It contains names and pictures of over 20,000 members of this movement who have been killed by the regime, page by page, all the details of them, a lot of them very young people, and lots of pictures here of people who have been executed by this regime. This is the price that has been paid. So the desire for change is so genuine. It comes from the people. This culture that you see in the streets of Iran, that the young people, dare to confront the revolutionary guards. The women, especially young women, dare to confront the revolutionary guards. Where did that culture come from? Because as far as the mullahs are concerned, they are so misogynist. Well, there was generations before who paid the price, women who took the lead in fighting this regime. This movement is led by women. The entire leadership of the main opposition, the MEK, they are women. And they set the pace. They made an example for the new generation that the women should be in the leadership. Women can play the biggest roles of leadership in political change, and they have the ability to confront the most repressive regime, the Revolutionary Guards, who are misogynist to the core. This is the new reality of Iran that didn't just happen overnight. Years of resistance and opposition by the people, especially the young generation and the older generations, have got us to this point. And I'm very, very hopeful about the future.
They have shown so much bravery, so much courage. I'm in awe of them, and I don't think there was enough attention on their bravery, especially at the start of the year when we saw so many people being killed as they were protesting and taking to the streets. Just finally, before I let you go, I know the momentum has been building for some time, but it seems that there is this window of opportunity that things can change, there can be regime change. Did you ever expect that you would see this in your lifetime?
Oh, absolutely. I've always been very confident that it will come. And, the dictators the first thing they want to kill is the hope in the minds of people. The reason that they kill so many people, and they do a lot of it in public, and they show it in public, is not just to eliminate those people, but to kill the hope in the minds of others, saying, it's worthless, it's not going to happen. But the reality is that when you look at the price that's been paid, you look at the commitment, you look at the perseverance, you look at the leadership of this movement, a woman taking the helm and showing everybody else that the mullahs don't represent our country, they don't represent our religion, they don't represent our culture. You can be Muslims, but you can take the lead, you can be in the leadership. 98% of the Iranian population are Muslims, yet the main victims of this regime are those Muslims, moderate Muslims, who are standing up against the regime. Mrs. Rajavi herself saying the mullahs have no legitimacy whatsoever to even talk about our religion. She calls them anti-Islamic. These clerics who say they represent God on the face of the earth, giving themselves the authority to kill anyone at will. So there's a huge divide between the people on the one side and the Iranian regime, and the momentum has shifted so significantly in favor of the people and the organized resistance that gives us this hope, not just for the people of Iran, but for the whole world.
Alireza Jafarzadeh, National Council of Resistance of Iran Deputy, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Always a pleasure.